Hi there, I'm Will Studd, and thanks for watching. Here's another episode of Cheese Slices from our archives, proudly brought to you by Will Studd Selected Cheese.
Triple cream, Stilton cheddar, Emmental, mozzarella, camembert. I love a vegetam de Kiro cheese. Parmigiano, Reggiano, Roquefort, Brie de Meaux, and Montegoro, River, Blue, and Gouda. Asiago, Wensleydale, Rockland, Reblochon, Halloumi, Feta, Gorgonzola cheese. Oh, Monterey Jack, Pecorino, Swiss Gruyere. I love a vegetam de Kiro cheese.
The beautiful city of Lyon lies at the heart of French gastronomy and is recognised for its chefs, restaurants and wonderful recipes made from local ingredients. It's also the home of some of the youngest AOC cheeses in France. So I've come here to find out more about them. Lyon is the capital of the Rhône-Alpes region of east-central France and the classic architectural landmark and lovingly preserved medieval Gothic and Renaissance buildings of the old city are recognised World Heritage Sites. Built on the junction of the Rhône and Saône rivers, the population of Lyon was greater than that of Paris during the 15th and 16th century, and it later became renowned as the European capital of the luxury silk trade. Today, the city is recognised as the epicentre of French cuisine, and on this visit, I'm hoping to find out more about some of the new modern cheese classics being produced here. Most of the cheeses we feature on this show are traditional or artisan cheeses. But just now and again, I come across a modern cheese which combines those old-fashioned techniques with modern technology. This region is famous for one of them. Its name is Pavé Dauphinois, and it's found all over the world. The French Pavé Dauphinois is a unique surface-ripened cheese made from cow's milk by the Fromagerie Guilloteau using a technique known as ultrafiltration. This revolutionary system was originally invented in the 1960s and designed for making yoghurt before being ingeniously adapted to cheesemaking by the company's founder. Fine membranes are used to selectively separate the solid particles found in milk into a concentrated, homogeneous liquid with a high protein and calcium content. This can then be coagulated with rennet, moulded and ripened, just like traditional cheese.
We threw the milk in this side, and after the whey
comes
yes.
And then this captures captures all the protein in the milk.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You have all the protein in the milk around this tube and the whey in.
And can you make any type of cheese with this?
No, it's not possible to do hard cheese with this technology.
So it's really only good for soft cheese?
Yes, for soft cheese, yes, of course.
Cheese making here is designed for maximum efficiency, and 100 litres of milk produces up to 14 kilos of cheese.
The ultrafiltration allows the drops to be removed from the cheese before it curdles and to keep in the cheese the sour whey. That are the best milk proteins. This makes cheese that is creamier and softer than cheese that is produced by traditional methods. This method has existed for a long time, but there were some technical problems, and so no one was able to produce good cheese with this process. And that is what I was able to do.
I've no doubt that if not for the determined innovation and drive of Jean-Claude Guilloteau, the ultrafiltration process would never have been adapted to cheese making.
It is very important, the mold. It gives the cheese taste and decide for how long the cheese is edible. If there is mold that is too active, the result is rind that is too thick and taste that become very strong very quickly. So we work very hard on them. We have a researcher here in Pelussin who researched in all cheeses and selected the companies that create molds. They give the same mold to everyone. And I say no, I was tired about that. I do not want the same mold as everyone else. So we select our mold and we cultivate them. So they give a thin rind, and that supports a slow evolution of the cheese, which gives the cheese a very consistent taste.
Today, this unique modern cheese-making method and the Guilloteau brand is recognised as an international success story, and more than 25 million litres of cow's milk is collected annually from 80 farms located in the region around the dairy. After the curd has been cut to shape, the naked cheese is placed in a climate and humidity-controlled maturation room for 2 to 3 weeks, where it develops a thin, bloomy rind before being packed.
In this ripening room, you have some Pavé d'Affinois.
The classic.
Yes, the classic. And I can see you the Fromager d'Affinois just behind.
That's your other very popular cheese.
Very, very popular cheese, yes.
So this room is where all the mould is grown.
Yeah.
And how long does the mould take to grow?
About 10 days.
So has it started to grow over here?
Yeah, you can see it.
Okay.
This is the famous Fromager d'Affinois.
So when was this invented? Because you started...
We start with Pavé d'Affinois.
Which is the square one.
The square one, yes.
Yeah.
And after, we do this product, a very famous product.
Well, this is all over the world.
Yes.
And when was that invented?
Since 2000.
Only 2000? Yeah. You'll find this product all over the place. Yeah. It's called Fromage d'Affinois.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? It's Fromager d'Affinois, which means cheesemaker.
Yeah, at the beginning is Dauphinois because the product is made in Dauphiné. And after we talk about d'Affinois because in French, affiné is the word to ripen.
So it's a little joke.
Yes.
On Dauphin.
Yeah.
And affineur.
Yeah.
That's very clever. Okay, that explains it. In addition to the modern Dauphinois range of cheese, Jean-Claude has also raised the profile of a traditional regional cheese made from raw goat's milk. And he suggested I visit a typical farm nearby before visiting his new dairy facility. One of the most well-known of all Lyonese cheeses is a goat's cheese. It dates back to Roman times, and its name is Rigotte de Condrieu. This small traditional local cheese originated in the village of Bessat and was first recognised under Appellation regulations in 2009. Unlike industrial versions of Rigotte, which are usually made using pasteurised cow's milk, all the cheese bearing the name must be made from the raw milk of goats that have grazed on the slopes of the Massif du Pilat, south of Lyon. Raw goat's milk is seeded overnight with starter cultures that encourage gentle lactic coagulation. The curds are then placed in hoops and allowed to drain. The cheese is flipped only once before salt is added, and the young cheese is then transferred to humid cellars, where it's ripened for a minimum of 8 days.
Therefore, we use the same temperature, the same time, since the Rigotte de Condrieu is certified with a registered designation of origin, we have standards for the aging. In this case, 6 days after the addition of rennet.
After learning about ultrafiltration and the traditional production of Rigotte de Condrieu, I wanted to find out more about some of Lyon's other regional cheeses. So I headed back to the city to visit one of its iconic cheese shops. Lyon has enjoyed an enviable gastronomic reputation for at least 250 years. and its traditional tripe, offal and meat dishes were once enjoyed by hundreds of thousands of local silk workers known as Canut. But it was not until the late 1960s that it became associated with a new style of cooking, when chef Paul Bocuse put the city on the map with nouvelle cuisine. This emphasised the fresh, natural flavours of local, regional ingredients and reduced the amount of rich creams and heavy sauces that featured in French classic dishes in other parts of the country. To learn more about this culinary legacy, I'd arranged to visit a small cheese shop in Les Halles de Lyon, a modern market named after Paul Bocuse. Can you tell me something about the cheeses of this region?
Bien sûr, alors.
Of course. So the king of cheeses of this region is the Saint-Marcellin. It's the cheese of this region, and it's the specialty of Lyon, and it's the specialty of our shop, Maréchal. It's my mother who helped make this cheese popular 40 or so years ago, when Lyon didn't have any real specialty, and she said that it would be great if we had a special cheese. So she refined these cheeses a lot, and they are, as you can see, very creamy. These cheeses are ready to be put on toast. Right now, it is ready, and that is how we like the Saint-Marcellin in Lyon. They need to be just like this to be appreciated. We put them on a nice country bread or grilled bread, and it is exquisite.
Regrettably, these days, Saint-Marcellin is almost entirely produced on an industrial scale from pasteurised cow's milk. You have a cheese that is named after the brain of the silk maker.
Oui.
Yes?
La
Cervelle de Canut, yes.
Cervelle de Canut.
Cervelle de Canut is a
Alors,
cheese
cervelle de
that
Canut,
used to be eaten as a snack or a light meal.
Cervelle de casse-croûte.
The Canut were the workers in the silk industry of Lyon. Lyon has traditionally been a city of silk, and the Canut had this cheese for a snack. But this cheese was low fat, it was bland, so they added garlic and some herbs to make it a bit tastier. This is how this cheese has gotten the name of Cervelle de Canut, a culinary specialty of Lyon.
Madame René Richard went on to explain the importance of Charollais, another new AOC cheese that takes its name from the granite plains around the Charollais region of Bourgogne. And she also suggested that I investigate a locally made ewe's milk cheese that takes its inspiration from Saint-Marcellin and is made on the farm the traditional way. Les Bergers des Doms is home to Jean-Marc and his wife Christine. Their farm has a mixed herd of 160 Lecorne and French Grivet breed of milking ewes. So this is it?
This is the final product. We are going to try it and you will see that it is something completely different. Look here. The pâte is creamy. Again, this is coming out of the cold room, so you need to leave it out at room temperature for 2 hours. But try it and you will see that it is completely different.
Totally different flavour. A little bit for you.
Thank you. Là, it's very good.
Yeah.
C'est très bon. Là, on retrouve
Here you can find the creaminess of the product,
avec le goût
with the taste from the flora that is on here.
dessus.
The mold that is on the outside a little bit, this mold gives a good taste to the cheese.
Et à l'intérieur, nous avons une pâte.
And on the inside, you have an interior that is creamy because of the humidity, which was kept inside because of the
Nous ne
straw.
sommes pas sur un
We are not on a dry support, so the straw helps make the cheese creamy.
Voilà. Vous voyez,
So you see, after 2 hours, the cheese will essentially run even more.
It's a little cold, but it's very soft. It smells, it's got a beautiful smell, like yeasty smell.
il sent un peu, voilà.
Oui.
It smells little, yes, in comparison to this one here, which doesn't smell at all. This one there is a fragrance that demands a small taste of red wine.
Very nice
no?
with vin rouge, but maybe not at 9 o'clock in the morning. But the perfume It's just
The fragrance comes out well.
very, very, very retro-nasal, right at the back of your nostrils. Just
Right.
beautiful. The herbs, you can really taste the herbs and the richness of the milk. That's really nice, really good. Understandably, the cheese is incredibly popular with local restaurants. So it's only sold from the farm on Fridays and Saturdays. The vineyards of the Mâcon region in the south of Burgundy have been famous for their wines for centuries. But it's only recently that cheeses from here have found their way outside the region. I've come to look at one in particular. Its name is Mâconnais. This small traditional goat's milk cheese was only recognised by the AOC system in 2006. And under the current regulations, it can only be made from the raw milk of Alpine breed goats. This is something I love to see, goats with horns. Normally they're cut off because goats fight, for two reasons. Firstly, hierarchy, and secondly, over food. But here, they've got the balance just right. Thierry Chevenet is president of the company and largely responsible for putting this traditional cheese on the map. And to ensure local credibility is maintained, milk production is strictly limited to just 10 goats per hectare of farmland.
We collected the milk from the morning and evening and we mixed it, and at the end of the morning at the temperature of about 20 degrees, and we have mixed the milk with the rennet, and then we leave it for 24 hours.
24 hours, yeah.
After 24 hours, we have what we call a curdled milk, that is the curd, and we are going to mold it very carefully in the cheese molds by hand. So these are the Mâconnais with the French registered designation of origin, the cheeses that we mold manually, very delicately to have very smooth products.
So for the Appellation contrôlée, it must be a lactic set and it must be hand-ladled very delicately into these hoops.
Exactly. We mold them delicately. Everything is done to the curdled milk very delicate. And with the French registered designation of origin for the Mâconnais, everything is defined by this certification. Even the size of the ladle, everything is regulated.
So the thing about cutting the curd with this great big ladle is that it means that the moisture is retained in the curd, and that's very important for the character of the cheese. As the molds are filled, they drain and very slowly begin to firm up. And to speed up this process and also add flavour, salt is then added.
We salt the cheeses with fine-grained salt. It is a cheese that is only 24 hours old. It was molded yesterday. We will salt them, and then afterwards we will take them out of the mold.
Once removed from the draining hoops, the young cheese is taken to a climate-controlled maturation room where it develops a thin white surface mould over a week to 10 days.
So, we are going to taste les Mâconnais. Here we have some Mâconnais that are 10 days old and are almost completely finished.
So these are ready now?
Almost. They still need maybe 2 days.
2 more days, okay.
It is a pretty little Mâconnais.
I'm curious, is this mould on the outside natural?
Yes,
Totally natural.
everything is natural. It's the naturally occurring mold that we find in the region from nearby vines.
Tributaire des vignes à côté.
So it comes from the vines and the region,
Voilà.
Okay, very good. Thierry proudly showed me a unique mini version of Le Mâconnais, which was originally created for Paul Bocuse, but inspired by his father, who always had a straw in his mouth. We then went on to taste a variety of aged Mâconnais, and also their larger cousin, the barrel-shaped Charollais cheese. So this is quite young. It's a bit of perfume.
Ouais.
Yeah.
On sent le lait, on sent l'herbe.
Milk and herbs. The smell of the pasture.
Yeah.
And a little bit of the yeast on the outside.
Young cheese.
Very young. bream, a little bream.
After trying all the delicious cheese at the dairy, I was very keen to visit one of the more innovative Lyon chefs to see how he treats Charollais in the modern kitchen.
Donc, avec le pesto de roquette.
Okay, pesto of rocket.
Yes.
Very pretty. And this is the Charollais shaved.
Exactement.
Salt.
Sel.
Sel.
Fleur de sel.
Fleur de sel. Ah, beautiful. Yeah.
Un peu de poivre.
A little bit of pepper. Chef Gregoire then dresses the seasoned cheese with cooked prawns, drizzled with an oil dressing flavoured with finely chopped garlic and shallots. That looks beautiful. Okay. He then adds a few leaves of fresh parsley, chives, sorrel and tarragon. And to introduce another texture, he adds a few teaspoons of fresh salmon eggs to create a truly delicious combination. Beautiful. That looks sensational. Really, really good. Magnifique. Being so close to some of France's great vineyards, Thierry's wife offered to take me to one of her favourites, Château de la Graffière, for an impromptu cheese and wine tasting.
Right, so...
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
this is the Mâconnais cheese
Yeah.
with the Mâcon wine. Let's see what happens. It's nice, a little bit salty, fresh, sweet,
Yes.
dry, moist.
It's a raw milk cheese, and it's a very good association with the wine.
A little lemony, a little bit of salt, and then take a little swish of the wine. Imagine you've been picking grapes all day.
Good, no?
Fantastic with the wine. Really nice. Thanks for a great day. Most interesting seeing how the cheese is made. Thank you. And thank you for showing us around your winery. Do you have any more?
I have.
I thought you might.
Lyon is a very beautiful city and clearly deserves its remarkable reputation for innovative chefs and food producers. The surrounding region is also stunning and offers a fine selection of seasonal produce, regional wines and unique traditional cheeses which sit very comfortably alongside a fascinating variety of recent additions, including those created by Monsieur Guilloteau and his clever team.
We make Pavé d'Affinois.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah. Mould ripened cheese.
Yes.
Yeah? Of course. Its name is Rigotte de Condrieu. Ouch! Go away.
Rolling. Here we go.
Like this. Yeah. You know, this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. For your balance. You learn something every day.